You want to find balance. And here's how. First of all, start with intention. The conscious, pure intent of the human to bring balance to all aspects of their lives and all aspects of their beings. This then, by extension, will manifest and express as balance in relationships, balance in experience in general. From a place of balance, you then have access to your infinite power. Now, it's a bit of a step, it's a bit of a journey, because we've been spinning it off balancedness for so many years in this lifetime and for so many lifetimes in this experience. What you're doing when you come into balance is you're getting into present time, in unconsciousness, in 3 dimensions. We live in a loop, going into the future with our mental bodies, having thoughts and projections based on past, largely emotional experiences. So we're in the past and we're projecting into our future, and this is the loop that people live in. That's what's going on with people. And it gets tiring, and people look for distraction, people look for entertainment, numbing themselves out, addiction, television, you name it, decadence. And so you want to intend balance and coming into present time and starting to live, perceive from a place of present time. You've probably heard of a book called The Power of Now. Now is the eternal now. Everything is now. Time is an application. We use it in this realm. It's really not part of the greater all that is. We use it, ideally you want to be using it as markers so that you meet up with a certain person at a certain time, or you know that your flight is at a certain time. Like it's markers. But we use it in different ways. We use it to measure what is going to happen in a certain period of time. Aging, for example. Well, someone who's 90 years old should look a certain way. And that's a belief. And that forms your reality. And it forms our collective reality. It's irrelevant. Time is irrelevant. Use it only as markers. Present time is all that matters. You step out of unconsciousness 3 dimensions into 4 dimensions. That's present time. In present time, you have conscious choice. You can perceive without engaging. You can choose. You start to be able to choose how to engage, where not to engage, what kind of language to use. And it's all in alignment. Ultimately, it falls into alignment with your greater objectives, your greater purpose. And for the most part, people don't really have concepts around higher purpose and greater objectives and conceptually how they want to live. In a linear, rational way, we go from point A to point B to point C because somebody told us we did this, we did that, we did this, we did that, we would be successful, whatever that means. And so we spend our lives going from point A to point B to point C, having drama, having conflict, having crisis, having illness, having disease. Yes, there's good days, good times, and then there's also a lot of struggle. And that's pretty standard for most people, for humanity in general. As you step out of 3D into 4D present time, you start to now give yourself access to a conceptual perspective, imagining concepts. So like a scenario, I say to you, how do you want to live? Maybe it's a question that you haven't really given a lot of consideration to. And I don't necessarily mean, what kind of car do you want to have and what kind of TV do you want to have. I mean, what kind of a life do you want to have? What are the energies in that life? Is there ease? Is there enjoyment? Is there well-being? Is there a lot of fun and excitement, uplifting experience? Is there a lot of nourishing, enjoyable food? Is there beautiful scenery? Is there, what is it for you? What kind of a life do you want to live? You want to start to Imagine. And what's going to happen initially is your beliefs and assumptions about the world will get in the way. You want to have an intention to let them go, dissolve them. They're not serving you. Most of your beliefs and opinions, they don't serve you. They serve your demise, really. Right? Causing you struggle, worry, tension, things like that. Aging you, actively aging you, putting you in a state of a mental and emotional dis-ease, which inevitably, invariably, manifests as physical disease. Start taking steps away from that trajectory. It's a new trajectory. Mastery. And so you come into balance, and then instead of now constantly being this ongoing thinking, the rational mind is very limited. It doesn't have the creativity. So it's constantly looking within what it already knows, what it already thinks it knows, points of reference it already has. Imagine a computer that's not hooked up to the internet. All you can do is search and browse through files that already exist there. You know, and it's possible to have a lot there, but it's also going to be limited. You're limited to what's there. You don't have the access to the group, collective mind. That's how the rational mind works. It's like the CPU, the processor. You want to start to engage your intuitive, creative aspects, the greater you. This is about your human consciousness coming into balance and coming into alignment. And as it does, it starts to then have communication, increased, enhanced access to the wisdom of the soul. In simple terms, you are not singular. Humans are not singular. There are multiple consciousnesses. There is the mental, the emotional aspects, there's body intelligence. You've got what we call our guides. There's a higher self, which is like the portal to the soul. It's what you connect through to the soul, and it's the same one in every lifetime. So the soul, which is a collective consciousness itself, it's not physical. Most of the universe is not physical. Learn to be at peace with this concept. It can be difficult for humans to grasp because we know physical. Not all of the universe is physical. Only a very, very small part of the all that is physical. As you come into balance, you connect with all these other aspects of you in a balanced, aligned way. You now have your connectivity to your soul, which is your connectivity to your divinity. Your soul lives in oneness with all that is. Everything. You cannot take that which we call God apart. God, okay, let's put aside any religious connotations. The all that is. You cannot take it apart. It is all that is. And so all of it lives in the soul, in the higher self. All the experiences you've ever had, and I say you, I mean the soul. All the incarnations that the soul has had, has created, and has gleaned the experience, the lessons, those skills and traits and attributes and abilities that have been developed. They all get collected. Nothing gets lost, and it's in your DNA. Your higher self is in your DNA. Everything's in your DNA. It's your DNA where you really live. And your DNA is this whole profound thing that science can't understand, can't see, because it can't see a quantum state, and your DNA is in a quantum state. Not to get too far off track, but these are multiple related concepts. I'm giving it to you this way because from the place you're asking the question, you have tremendous capacity to absorb a lot of information. And so, what you're doing in channeling is you're accessing the wisdom of the soul, in simple terms.